This is CBC Here and Now.
I wish my dad was here to do it all.
I offered to come help today, actually, so any excuse to use my snowblower.
It looks like we're off to an early start for a good long old-fashioned winter.
I kind of wish it was summer now.
Digging out, a double dose of winter.
But is there any middle ground? When it comes to winter, you either love it or hate it.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Debbie Cooper.
And I'm Anthony Germain.
Well, after 2 days of heavy snow, many on the island spent the day trying to dig themselves out.
Roads shut down, flights canceled, and whiteout conditions in many parts of the province.
Here and Now's Meg Roberts joins us live. Meg, what did it look like out there today in the St. John's area?
Well, the snowbanks like this one are starting to pile up high as residents spent hours today trying to deal with all of the snow. Now, some people say that the cleanup has them feeling a little overwhelmed. The snow has its benefits for others. It's part of the soundtrack of winter, and snow clearing goes a lot faster when you've got a snowblower.
I offered to come help today, actually, so yeah, any reason, any excuse to use my snowblower.
How long have you guys been out here for?
I'd say 45 minutes now, and we're about 90% done.
I kind of wish it was summer now.
University student Kelly Morris isn't a huge fan of shoveling snow. She says her dad used to do it when she was young, but those days are long gone.
First day back to classes, so everybody got a shovel to get to their classes. But it is a lot of snow. We haven't had this much in a long time. If I was 5 and could play in it, it'd be good, but not when you have to shovel it.
Not everyone in St. John's is cringing at the sight of snow. The only thing this local company is seeing, dollar signs. Fun and Fast was packed today. The owner says people have been coming in looking for outerwear and trying to get their snowmobiles and snowblowers repaired.
Being one of the owners and looking at the inventory, it's definitely it's a relief because, with the snow business, you really have to gear up for it every year. You got to be ready for it, and when you get this kind of early start, it's a bit of a relief for sure to get it going.
Young says he's optimistic about this year's winter season after the previous mild one.
When you look at that forecast now, 14 days out, it reminds you of the year 2000, 2001. We went a little while with a couple of weaker winters, and then boom.
In 2001, almost 600 centimeters fell to the ground, breaking a 119-year-old record. And although only 46 centimeters have fallen in St. John's, the year is still young. Reporting live in St. John's, I'm Meg Roberts for Here and Now.
She looks like she's going to go ziplining right there. Wow, that's a lot of snow.
That is a big snowbank.
Yeah,
Wow.
And it's not going to be diminished anytime soon, I understand.
Not the next couple of days. Looking a little bit ahead, maybe we could see some of this snow gone, especially for parts of eastern Newfoundland and the Avalon as well. But if we take a look at some of the numbers from this storm, the numbers are in. So peak winds for St. John's were 107 kilometers per hour and 45 centimeters of snow fell with this system that was starting on New Year's Eve. New Year's Day night, and then moving into yesterday. Bonavista capped out at 128 kilometers per hour with 29 centimeters, and then Gander takes the cake. 58 centimeters of snow fell, 33 hours of continuous snowfall with peak winds near 84 kilometers per hour. Now, we did see some snow along the west coast as well. Stephenville, 26 centimeters, and then Wreck House winds peaked at 106 kilometers per hour. Now, today, it was not too bad out there with sunshine for the dig out, but temperatures quite cold. It does look like things will start to warm up. And then, as I mentioned, we could potentially see some rain heading towards Sunday, but I'll have all those details coming up in a little bit.
There's no real plan. Take it day by day and see what happens.
This 73-year-old is hoping the snow doesn't pile up too high.
He's someone who made a literal call for help yesterday, phoning VOCM's open line to see if anyone listening could help shovel him out. We'll hear more from him a bit later on Here and Now. A couple of accidents on the Trans-Canada Highway near Gander today. These are two of the vehicles involved in one of the crashes. Police had them dragged off the TCH to a safe spot. At least 3 vehicles were involved in the crash just west of Gander, but no injuries. Then, just east of Gander, another accident near Square Pond involving 3 vehicles. A couple of people were taken to hospital with what are believed to be minor injuries. These accidents caused delays for travelers on the TCH today. Now, if you were driving through the area today, you would have seen this transport truck off the road. It wasn't part of the accident. Police say it went off the road yesterday, but hasn't been towed away yet because of the weather.
With the threat of skyrocketing electrical power bills looming, the province's Public Utilities Board has released 2 consultant reports that look for ways this province can keep electricity rates down. The consultants say that without measures to mitigate rate increases, domestic customers' power bills could double by 2021. Here now's Mark Quinn reports.
Reports released by the PUB this week were preliminary findings from 2 expert consultants. Both groups say there's no magic bullet to keep rates down.
If rates rise, people will leave. So rates have to stay stable, and people have to understand that rates will remain stable.
One group called Synapse recommends what it calls aggressive policy initiatives, such as promoting conversion to electricity, energy conservation, and increasing export sales.
By, I guess, poaching the oil market right now, people who have the use of oil in their businesses and homes, by making electricity affordable and more affordable than oil, so people will do the switch.
The other group, called Liberty, looked at the structure of Nalcor and the financing of the company. It says it found opportunities to save hundreds of millions of dollars annually.
Revisiting the financial documents is the most important, and that would involve the federal government, because the financial documents and the guarantees and the order in council, which said that we will be paying for it, are all embedded into the financial documents. So any change there would involve the federal government, who has given the guarantees.
It also says cutting the number of people Nalcor employs by 5% could save $15 million annually. Island of Newfoundland customers will see total payments to Nalcor rise from about $506 million in 2019 to more than $1 billion per year in 2020. Mark Quinn, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, there's a town hall this weekend for those interested in a potential new political party that claims to be anti-party politics. It's happening Saturday evening at the Capitol Hotel in St. John's, and leading the charge is former provincial PC President Graydon Pelly. He hopes to garner enough support to have his group, Newfoundland and Labrador Alliance, on the ballot in time for this year's election.
People don't feel like they're being represented the way they should by their elected MHA, and as I have said before, that unless you're a member of the cabinet, unless you agree with the party and do the things the way the party wants it done, then you are not in cabinet. And many times, if you want to vote or speak against something that you feel strong about, then you're out.
And more of my conversation with Graydon Pelly coming up in about 20 minutes on Here and Now.
A WestJet flight heading to St. John's from Halifax this morning had a mechanical issue and was forced to turn back. The Q400 turboprop carrying 82 people landed safely in Halifax shortly before 10 o'clock. The Halifax Airport Authority says emergency and fire crews were on standby, but the plane was able to taxi to the gate under its own power.
The City of Corner Brook has a new contest in place that could keep you and your neighbors a lot safer during the winter months.
Clearing hydrants is actually costing the City of Corner Brook anywhere between $40,000 to $60,000 a year.
I'll tell you about the Adopt a Fire Hydrant contest.
Elections Newfoundland and Labrador is looking for people to work the polls in the Topsail Paradise by-election. Workers are needed for the advanced polls, and those happen on January 17th and 19th. And of course, they also need people to work on by-election day itself. That's January 24th. Now, to work in the polls, you have to be 18 years of age or older, a Canadian citizen, and a Newfoundland and Labrador resident the day before voting takes place. Elections NL says a number of positions are empty and encourages anyone who's interested to apply. And you can find out more information on the Elections NL website.
And now to that story from Corner Brook. The City of Corner Brook has a new way of keeping homeowners safe this winter. Here now's Colleen Connors explains how the Adopt a Hydrant venture could save the city thousands.
Well, as everybody knows, Corner Brook is just blanketed in snow this time of year, and the piles are getting bigger and bigger in everybody's driveways. But that also means that these guys, the fire hydrants, are buried all over town. The city has a new contest where you, the residents, are encouraged to dig these things out. 729 red fire hydrants, and most of them look like this. If there was a house fire nearby, firefighters would have to shovel out the hydrant, losing valuable time. City workers are responsible to dig them out after major snowfalls, but that can take several days. The city's brand new initiative called Adopt a Hydrant could change all of that.
Basically, it's a contest where we have residents actually clearing hydrants for the city.
If you volunteer to dig out the hydrant near your home, your name will be entered to win a weekly prize. So far, 109 hydrants are registered with the contest, which is saving the city time and money.
Well, basically, clearing hydrants is actually costing the city of Corner Brook anywhere between $40,000 to $60,000 a year. This program is significantly less than that, quite less than that, less than 10% of that.
Flynn says lots of Corner Brookers were already shoveling out the hydrants near their homes. He says the city is not putting their whole trust in the contest.
Ultimately, it's the city responsibility, but we are asking residents to do this and encourage them and trying to engage them into this program and using the contest to do that. But at the end of the day, the city is still monitoring the work done by residents.
Now, the city of Corner Brook doesn't expect that all 729 of these fire hydrants will be cleared out by residents, but they are hoping for about 25% to be cleared out and taken care of by the neighbors. Colleen Connors, CBC News, Corner Brook.
Coming up on Here and Now, we'll look at the holiday season crackdown on impaired driving, and the numbers show we still have a problem.
And I'll go back to saying it again, we depend on the public to report instances of impaired driving.
And welcome back to Here and Now.
Well, after all that snow on the island yesterday, shoveling out, certainly not an easy task, but especially for seniors.
Here and Now's Bailey White met one man in St. John's who says he's at a loss when it comes to getting his driveway cleared.
At 73, I can't do it, so when I was 16 or any age around that area. So, didn't find someone who to get. It's difficult, so I phoned VOCM, looking for someone with a truck with a blade that can help out. One guy did call me. He wanted $160 to come out and do it.
$160?
Yes, and we can't afford that. And you know, the whole thing with the city and the plows coming down, they should try their best not to bar off people's driveways if possible. It's not a good thing to do.
And I understand you couldn't even get out through the door yesterday.
No, I couldn't. Snow was piled up to the door. That door on the outside outward, and the aluminum door, and the other door opens inward. So you couldn't get out because the snow had the door blocked. And so that's another problem which I tries to avoid whenever possible.
And what is that like? Is it frustrating? Is it frightening? I mean, if you had to get out in an emergency or something?
If I had a serious problem, an ambulance company, which they come often with for me, they have to shovel snow away the door in order to reach me. It's not good.
So somebody called you yesterday, they wanted $160 to clear out your driveway. How did you actually get it cleared out to this extent in the end?
This extent, I had a friend come up. He did a little bit of it. He lives down on Neptune Road. The wife and I thought, well, we had a few dollars. Yeah, it's so we're able to pay a reasonable amount, but to be gouged at, you know, that been done to me a number of times. Really? You know, there's a lot of vultures out there, parasites.
You feel like they're taking advantage of your situation?
Absolutely. Yeah. Taking advantage of? Yes. Once you tell them that you're retired, they say, oops, I'm going to get that guy. Yep.
So what's the plan for the rest of the winter? Because we're only just getting started.
I don't know. There's no real plan. Take it day by day and see what happens.
So cold, but not cold enough to keep vultures and parasites away. Poor Alfred.
More snow coming for all of us, including Alfred Simmons, to deal with.
But we have some good news. We had a call to our newsroom tonight and someone offering to plow Mr. Simmons out. So there you go. Very generous, whoever you are.
So there is, as you talked about earlier, more snow for a couple of days, and then it's going to change a bit.
Yeah, and we won't necessarily see a lot of snow for the Avalon. It looks like it's more the west and south coast tomorrow, but we'll take a look at the current satellite radar. You wouldn't know that a blizzard happened yesterday other than the amount of snow that was on the ground today. Absolutely gorgeous day out there. Not a whole lot happening. Just looking at some cloud cover for parts of the island and then up through Labrador as well. You can see that low pressure system off to the east moving away through the day today. So as far as what I mentioned, sunshine, but those cold temperatures. So here's a look at the current temperatures right now, sitting in the minus double digits. It's well below seasonal for this time of year. Should be sitting around -1, so about 10 degrees below seasonal. Up through Labrador, cold again in the -20s. The good news is these temperatures will slowly start to creep back towards seasonal into the next couple of days. But as far as those wind chills go, so not quite as windy as yesterday, but still quite breezy if you were out this afternoon. That sunshine a little bit not exactly representative about what was happening outside. -20 right now is the current wind chill in St. John's, -21 in Gander, and then up through Labrador again. Feeling closer to the -30s, and we'll continue to see that as we head through the overnight tonight. So the winds have started to die down and will continue to do so as we head through the night tonight. Just out of the northwest for St. John's, about 22 kilometers per hour. And again, we will see light winds, and that will be the story as we head through the day tomorrow as well. So here's a look at the future tracker. We'll see a slight chance of we will see the chance of a few flurries tonight along the west and south coast, and that will continue into the afternoon, or at least the early morning hours. And then by the time the afternoon rolls around, we'll see a little bit of heavier light snow move in, or heavier than flurries rather, and then up through Labrador as well. Not a whole lot in the way of accumulation up through Labrador, but then we see another round of snow move in towards the evening hours, and with that, that's where we'll see most of that accumulation, and then it'll head towards the Avalon into the early morning hours tomorrow, or rather, what day is it today? Thursday? On Friday, and then Saturday morning. So here's a look at the forecast for tonight. -12 for Corner Brook, -10 in Port aux Basques, -18 for Grand Falls, Windsor. In lower lying areas, we could see those temperatures reaching the -20s tonight. St. John's looks like -17 overnight tonight, but again, those winds will ease and those clear skies. Ridge of high pressure, when we have those winds easing and cooler temperatures, that's when we see that. -26 for Labrador City with that chance of flurries. Wind chill still feeling closer to the -30s. Now the Straits low near -21, but they're going to climb as we head towards the morning hours, even more so into tomorrow afternoon. So most of the day should be sunny for most of the island, especially for Central and the Avalon. Those light winds, though, a little warmer as well, -7. Corner Brook -2, and then up through Labrador, we're looking at that chance of flurries again, a little warmer, in about 5 degrees warmer. So here's a look at the snowfall Friday into Saturday morning. 5 to 10 centimeters along the the west and south coast. Otherwise, good 2 to 5 centimeters is possible. And then for the Avalon and Labrador, it looks like closer to a trace to maybe 2 centimeters at the most. So that's a look at the forecast. We'll look ahead and the potential for rain coming up in a little bit. Deb?
Thanks, Ashley. An annual tradition for police at this time of the year is slowly winding down. That's the crackdown on impaired driving over the holidays. Here now, Cease Hare reports on the results of roadside checks by the RNC and RCMP.
There was no shortage of red noses during Operation Rudolph, the RNC's campaign against impaired driving. In all, 23 people were charged with being impaired, and on one day between Christmas and New Year's, over 200 drivers were checked and no impaired drivers were found. But it doesn't necessarily mean that progress is being made in the war against impaired driving.
And that's a positive statistic for sure. However, we do understand that people avoid these checkpoints.
The RCMP held its own sobriety checkpoints across the province, which in some cases showed unsettling behavior too.
Christmas Eve, actually, we had an impaired driver out in Grand Falls area on the highway where he apparently was supposed to be the designated driver according to the other 2 passengers in the vehicle.
Corporal Jolene Garland says they also have an impaired driving charge not involving booze in the case of a 51-year-old man from Newtown who had his license suspended as well.
We also arrested a drug-impaired driver out in Gambo, and that was on December 30th in the community of Gambo. And what was kind of more unsettling to that is there was also 2 other passengers in that vehicle, one being a child. So it's definitely not something we want to see.
The RCMP says on its busiest day, just over 3,200 people were checked. The RCMP says on December 22nd, only 5 people were charged with impaired by alcohol out of over 3,200 checks. The RCMP also says that is 5 too many. Cease Hare, CBC News, St. John's.
We feel that the 40 elected members that are here in the House of Assembly need to have a free voice and a free vote on issues that impact so many people in Newfoundland and Labrador.
From PC Party president to anti-party politics.
More from the man behind Newfoundland and Labrador Alliance ahead.
Welcome back to Here and Now. Well, 2019 is going to be a big year for elections in this province. We're going to be heading to the polls twice for both a federal and a provincial election. This weekend, a disgruntled Conservative who quit as PC party president is hosting a town hall to launch what he calls NL Alliance. I met up with Graydon Pelly to ask him if anybody's interested and if he has enough time. Right, Mr. Pelly, you say this place is not working the way it should. How are you going to change that?
Well, the NL Alliance has listened to the people of the province, Anthony, and we feel that the 40 elected members that are here in the House of Assembly need to have a free voice and a free vote on issues that impact so many people in Newfoundland and Labrador.
Now, you were president of a party which sort of practiced politics the old way, where votes were whipped, people voted the way the party generally wanted them to. What has happened to make you change?
Well, that's just it. Newfoundland and Labrador is used to a party system of politics, and people that I've talked to across the province and Labrador over the last while are saying it's not working. People don't feel like they're being represented the way they should by their elected MHA, and as I have said before, that unless you're a member of the cabinet, unless you agree with the party and do the things the way the party wants it done, then you are not in cabinet. And many times, if you want to vote or speak against something that you feel strong about, then you're out.
Now, you say you want to run in the next election, you want to have candidates. How do you do that without the NL Alliance actually becoming a party? It has to become a party by law.
Well, yes, and the thing about it is elections, Newfoundland, Labrador, we have to be registered with them. We have to get 1,000 signatures, which is very important for us to become registered. But for all intents and purposes, people refer to us as a party, but we are a group of people that want to see things done differently than what the party system has been doing in Newfoundland and Labrador.
Right now, as many people know, you were president of the Progressive Conservatives. You left. What's wrong with Mr. Crosby's leadership?
This is not about Mr. Crosby's leadership, and this is not about Graydon Pelly. This is about the people of Newfoundland and Labrador who need to know that their ideas are being represented properly. And as you said earlier, the party system has been here for a long time, and the party system is not the way Newfoundlanders and Labradorians want to see their government run now.
The other question, of course, not a lot of time before the next provincial election. How are you possibly going to get this NL Alliance organized in time?
Well, realistically, we have a lot of work to do. But since November the 14th, when we announced Newfoundland and Labrador Alliance, we've had a whole group of people that want to support us. They want us to put our platforms out there. They want to be a part of this. And even though we have a lot of work to do, I believe that the people of Newfoundland and Labrador are ready to pull this together and to get things done so that they have a real opportunity for change within the governance of Newfoundland and Labrador.
Is there a single policy difference between the NL Alliance and any of the parties?
I think the biggest thing that we are representing is that all 40 members that are elected by the people, for the people, to do the people's work, will have a free voice and a free vote in the House of Assembly.
Last question. You've come to St. John's because you're going to have a town hall meeting. Here's your chance to promote it.
Okay, well, Saturday at 6:30 at the Capitol Hotel here in St. John's. We are going to have a town hall meeting, and it's a time for the NL Alliance to share their ideas and a time for the conversation to be had between the people and the NL Alliance, and that's what we are about. Collaboration in all of the policies and things that we have put forth has been a result of conversations with people throughout Newfoundland and Labrador. We want you to come out, we want you to have your say, what you feel your government should look like, and we will certainly listen.
All right, well, listen, it's going to be interesting to see if you've got enough time and if you get those 1,000 signatures. That's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people, but Newfoundland and Labrador wants change, and they're ready to step forward and make it happen.
All right, Mr. Pelly, it's very cold out here. Appreciate you meeting me. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
A major oil sands company is paying a very steep price for an environmental incident dating back to 2015. 31 great blue herons were found dead at a Syncrude site north of Fort McMurray. And now the company is facing a fine of nearly $3 million. It is the second time Syncrude has faced steep fines for the death of birds at its oil sands. The first incident happened in 2008, and the company paid a $3 million fine for the deaths of over 1,600 ducks. Syncrude says it's now made changes to keep birds and wildlife from getting hurt or killed. As for the most recent fine, nearly $1 million will go towards protecting wildlife habitats and migratory bird corridors.
I've always believed in taking a collaborative approach and really a listening approach.
The Provincial Advisory Council on the Status of Women has a new CEO. But who is she? Find out right after the break. A new year, a new beginning for the Provincial Advisory Council on the Status of Women as they welcome a new president and CEO. Paula Shepherd takes on the mantle from longtime CEO Linda Ross, and Paula Shepherd joins me in the studio. Well, welcome, and your very first day on the job. You were supposed to be there yesterday, but a bit of a storm blew through.
Yeah.
Are you ready to go?
Absolutely, I'm really excited.
Yeah. You were appointed last November, so you've had time to get used to the idea of taking on this role, but many of us probably don't know you very well. So Paula, tell us your background that brings you to this job.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I grew up in Come By Chance, which is a town of 300 people, so a very rural perspective for me. Educated at Memorial University, and you know, just most recently was working with NLO for the last 14 years. So NLO is the Newfoundland and Labrador Organization of Women Entrepreneurs, which is a provincial organization that has staff throughout the province that assist women to grow, start businesses across the province. So, you know, what I guess mirrors that role to this role is, of course, the Advisory Council, again, is a provincial organization with council members from across the province. And so that's why I'm really excited to take this role.
So Paula, with NLO, you would have interacted, liaised with different groups like provincial advisory councils right around the province. They're very strong advocates for women's rights and women's issues. What did you learn from that collaboration?
You know, we definitely learned from that collaboration that any of the issues related to whether you're in any rural or urban area, if you're, you know, wealthy or not wealthy, if you have education, if you don't have education, a lot of the basic issues are the same, and a lot of the barriers are the same. And working with an economic development organization, and then working with a lot of the advisory councils or the status offices across the province, we were able to really work together to help solve some of these issues or resolve some of the barriers.
Do you see your role as more of stepping back and having a more global perspective?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, of course, being my first day, I have a lot to learn. But I've always believed in taking a collaborative approach and really a listening approach. So my first 6 months, I think, will just be finding out what really digging into what the issues that the advisory council has been working on. What are some of the main things that we want to take on, and move the agenda forward as best as we can.
Now you're coming in at a time when I understand there's a brand new board for the council. You've got a brand new minister, Caroline Haley, who for the first time is heading a standalone portfolio on the status of women. How significant is that?
It's absolutely significant. I mean, it just goes to show the importance of moving gender parity and gender equity forward. Having a standalone minister, I think, is key to moving some of these issues forward. There hasn't been a lot of progress in the last 150 years. So, we can't wait another 150 years to make progress. And I think this is exactly what we need, are these dedicated resources. So the minister being new, me being new, the council coming on as new, who are an amazing group of 10 women from every part of the province. It's a really exciting time to really action some of these things.
Have you had a chance to talk with the minister yet?
Yes, very briefly. Her and I met, she met with as many council members as possible a few weeks ago. And, she's really excited about her role, really wants to action a lot of things. So, like I said, it's just a really good time right now.
Do you get any sense of what are some of the things that are priorities for her, or some of the areas that jive with what you want to accomplish?
I know one of the things she's really passionate about is advancing the number of women in leadership roles in this province, which is something that, of course, I work very closely with when I work with NLO, because a lot of the entrepreneurs in the province are the women leaders in the province. A couple of years ago, NLO did a series of workshops right across the province addressing some of the issues related to women in leadership and women entrepreneurs. So, her and I absolutely have a lot to share on that. And when we meet in person more in depth, I'm sure we'll work through that.
Paula Shepherd, I just imagine there are going to be a lot of people who want to have your ear. You've got a 3-year appointment.
Yeah.
And as you say, you're feeling pretty good about it. Good luck with everything, and we'll check in with you.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
In grim international news, the men accused of murdering journalist Jamal Khashoggi appeared in court today in Saudi Arabia. Officials say prosecutors are seeking the death penalty for some of the men charged in the killing of the outspoken critic. CBC's Natasha Fattah has more.
11 men are accused of being involved in the disappearance and death of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. The suspects were in court today as the trial began in the capital, Riyadh. No names have been released, but the prosecution says it is seeking the death penalty for 5 of the 11 suspects. The prosecutor alleges that the group ambushed Khashoggi at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul on October 2nd, gave him a lethal injection, and then dismembered his body. Khashoggi's remains have never been found, and the killing of this outspoken critic of the Saudi regime has caused a public rift between Turkey and Saudi Arabia. Saudi officials say they are still waiting for information and potential evidence from Ankara, and Turkey still insists that the trial of any suspects should be held there under Turkish law. The most contentious issue remains the role of the Saudi crown prince. It is widely reported that he ordered the killing, but Mohammed bin Salman is not on trial and has not been charged. This case continues to be closely watched by journalists, the international community, and human rights activists, many wondering if there will ever be justice or even real answers in the death of Jamal Khashoggi. Natasha Fattah, CBC News, Toronto.
The Russian news agency Interfax says a detained former U.S. Marine who was born in Canada has now been charged with spying. Paul Whelan's lawyer in Moscow says he is expected to remain in custody until at least the end of February. The 48-year-old American was detained by Russian authorities last Friday. The U.S. ambassador to Russia says he has visited Whelan at Moscow's detention center. His family says he was in Moscow for a wedding. Yesterday, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo demanded an explanation. Relations have deteriorated between the two countries over Russia's actions in Ukraine and allegations of meddling in the 2016 U.S. presidential election.
Well, this is a historic day in Washington. A new era of divided power began for the first time since Donald Trump took office. The Democrats took control of the U.S. House of Representatives.
For the meeting of the 116th Congress of the United States, the House will come to order.
The swearing in of dozens of new House Democrats ended Republican control of all three branches of the U.S. government. And it's the most diverse Congress in U.S. history, with a record-breaking number of women and people of color, including the first Muslim women and Native American women to serve there. House Democrats are promising rigorous oversight of Donald Trump, including on his tax returns and his campaign's alleged ties to Russia. There's even talk of impeachment. Okay, get a shovel. Hey, it looks like they did a pretty good job on the parkway just outside the CBC here.
Actually, it doesn't look too bad at all.
No, roads don't look too bad. Tomorrow, we could see a trace of snow, but not till later on in the day. And then potentially some rain on Sunday, but I'll have all those details coming up after the break.
That's a lot of snow.
Almost 4 years ago, I became a quadruple amputee. I had a stroke.
People who have overcome some major life challenges.
When I came to, my arm was pretty well dismembered.
I have bad days and good days. It kind of depends on the day.
We're checking back in to see where they are today.
This is my story.
This is my story.
This is my story.
A new series on CBC NL coming this January.
and this is my story.
And welcome back once again. The day of the week is a bit strange for me,
know.
having been off for a few days. So I just realized, speaking with Ashley during the commercials, that tomorrow's the beginning of the weekend again. Friday, when we look ahead.
Right into Saturday and Sunday. It just, the holidays make it feel like, what day is it today?
Exactly.
Yeah,
so a lot of people looking forward to it anyway.
That's right. And it doesn't look like a whole lot's going to happen, at least for Saturday. We'll see a slight chance of a few flurries. We'll take a look at the future tracker into Saturday afternoon. So we'll see that snow, as I mentioned, wake up to about a dusting more than likely for the Avalon. The rest of the island looking at somewhere between 2 to 5 centimeters. It's the west coast that will see most of that snow, between 5 to 10 centimeters. Friday night into Saturday. Otherwise, Saturday afternoon doesn't look too bad, just a mix of sun and cloud for the most part. And then the next system rolls in late day Saturday into Sunday. So that's the next one that we'll be watching. It'll start as snow for Labrador, and then down through the Burin and the southern Avalon is where we'll see the first little bit of what's going to happen. It looks like it could potentially be freezing rain into Sunday morning. So here's a look at your Saturday forecast. Temperatures are warming up, so back to seasonals, hovering around 0 degrees, -1, -3 in Gander along the west coast. We're looking at temperatures hovering between 0 and -1, and then up through Labrador, warming. So back to seasonal, -12 for Lab City with that chance of flurries. Otherwise, sunshine the story for the rest of Labrador. Along the coast, a little bit warmer at -6, and then the Straits warming up to about -3 through the day on Saturday. So we'll go a little bit ahead into Sunday morning. There's that system. This one quite significant. We're looking at some rain for the most part. Now still the track not well agreed upon, so not exactly sure of what's going to happen, but a good chance we're going to see the rain for eastern Newfoundland and including the Avalon and Burin Peninsula. Otherwise, snow heavy at times for parts of the northern peninsula, west coast. And then up through Labrador, it looks like snow as well as that system. Now this one's going to hang around a little bit as well. So in behind that system, very much like we saw with this last one, those northwesterly winds changing things back over to snow. So we could see some significant snowfall amounts with that system as well. So definitely something to keep our eye on over the next couple of days. Into Tuesday, looks like things clear out as that low continues to pull off. So here's a look at your 5-day forecast. We're going to see flurries by morning on Saturday, slight chance through the day on Saturday as well. 0 degrees, 2 degrees by Sunday it looks like. So that's why things will change over to rain, and then windy on Monday as well with that chance of snow. Central Newfoundland, same thing, 3 degrees it looks like though. Either snow or rain through the day, and then temperatures dipping into the minus double digits overnight Monday and Tuesday. And then we're going to see that for western Newfoundland as well. Snow though for the most part, just snow Monday or Sunday and Monday with significant amounts possible. And then up through eastern Labrador, temperatures are finally going to climb back to seasonal. Some snow moves in Sunday night with that system and then continues as flurries on Monday. For western Labrador, temperatures are going to dip back down as we head towards the beginning of next week, back down to below seasonal. But when I come back, I will have all the details on your weather photo. It's a nice one this time. Anthony?
Thank you, Ashley. Well, it was a beautiful, bright, but bitterly cold day today on the Avalon. But exactly 30 years ago today, a fierce winter storm smothered and shut down St. John's, and the Weather Office was keeping watch. So let's go back in time 3 decades with the eternally young CBC reporter, Red Sharon.
10:25 a.m. and the city of St. John's is quiet, but there's a certain uneasiness stirring in the air. At the Weather Office, it's hardly noticeable, barely enough wind to fill the windsock, but they know it's coming. They've been tracking a huge weather system to the south that's headed right for the city.
The blue section, and even sometimes we'll get some red in there, would mean very heavy precipitation.
Which is exactly what's heading for us.
Which is exactly what's heading for us as well.
Great. Downtown, some people aren't even aware of what's about to happen.
That's right? You're sure?
Positive.
Wow.
Others seem skeptical.
I believe when I see it, because sometimes weather men are not right.
This guy can't believe it. He's still trying to dig out after the last big dump on New Year's Day.
So I gotta go through all this again.
It's almost like a waste of time.
Yeah, it is like a waste of time.
The schools believe it, though.
School is closed. We just got the information a few minutes ago.
No, sweetheart, today.
And back at the weather office, they start confirming the worst for people.
Well, it's going to go downhill from now until some clearing probably by tomorrow this time.
Casualty number 1. Outside, the streets are starting to get a little greasy.
Driving conditions are going to become very, very poor.
Some people don't seem to mind taking chances. By 3:30, it's no longer quiet in the city. The city is in chaos. And that's not the worst of it. The weather office says we should be through this mess by late tomorrow afternoon. They're calling this one the kick. Tomorrow, they say, we can expect the kicker. It should arrive by late tomorrow night, and it could be even worse than this storm. For CBC News, I'm Red Sharon in St. John's.
Yeah, so you see, we shouldn't complain too much, right, about everything.
Just looking back 30 years, some things have certainly changed in predicting the weather. Some things haven't. There's always a storm.
Yeah.
Well, Miles Goodwin's having a hard time keeping his hands off his favorite guitar these days. That's because the frontman of the Nova Scotia band April Wine last held it more than 40 years ago. But then he got a mysterious call on Christmas Eve. John Tatry has that story.
Yeah, this is it. These are the pickups that I put in.
Miles Goodwin fell in love with his Gibson Melody Maker in 1968. He bought it in Cape Breton and used it with his band, which was about to break big.
I used it up until 1972 on April Wine's, 2 of April Wine's records. And it would have been played on this guitar.
Then there was a truck crash. Goodwin was told his Gibson's neck was broken. He played on without her. Hits like You Could Have Been a Lady and Bad Side of the Moon sent April Wine to the top of the charts.
This was my life. This was my baby. My baby disappeared. She was 10 when she was taken from me, and she was 56 years old when she was returned. She missed a lifetime with me.
He never forgot his old friend and posted online about the lost Gibson once in a while. And then a Christmas miracle of sorts.
The day before Christmas, I got a message on Facebook, the 24th of December, 2018, saying, I know where your guitar is, your Melody Maker. I said, yeah, in heaven. No, it's in Victoria, BC.
He knew right away it was his. The design is his, and his name is on the head. The only thing missing were the memories.
This was, in one case, in a living room as a conversation piece for 15 years. That's like it being in a zoo, and people go by and stare at it. You know, it's heartbreaking, and it missed out on years of all the great April Wine hits like Roller. I would have played Roller on this back then. Yeah, I would have played it on this, but I didn't. You know, but I did play.
She came home this week via FedEx. It's been a wonderful time to fall back in love.
Rock and roll is a vicious game, but sometimes there's a happy ending, you know.
Goodwin will use the Melody Maker on his next blues album. He doesn't want to lose his love again, so if you want to hear it live, you'll have to come to Nova Scotia. John Tatry, CBC News, Halifax.
Little bit of a different weather photo today.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
I know, ptarmigans, or as you mentioned,
partridge.
Partridge, exactly. Yeah, this is a great shot sent in. I'll tell you where and by who when I come back.
Well, just before we wind down here now, how's this for a long walk on the beach?
Those strolling along Dutch shores today and yesterday got a very unexpected surprise.
And that's because a massive cleanup is underway after stormy weather in the North Sea swept dozens of containers off a cargo ship, and they are still drifting ashore.
The Dutch Coast Guard says up to 270 containers tumbled from the deck of one of the world's largest container ships.
They're spilling everything from car parts, IKEA furniture, flat screen TVs, clothing, and light bulbs onto multiple beaches. Well, that'd be...
Any guess as to how many items they're going to recover?
I don't know.
A lot of stuff.
Use some of that IKEA furniture. Yeah, for sure. Well, just before the break, we saw our wonderful weather photo of Ptarmigan. If you take a look at that gorgeous shot. So this one was sent in from, I can't get there quickly, Eastport.
Ah, the beautiful Eastport Peninsula.
It's so lovely there.
Beautiful.
Someone should tell that bird it's okay to exhale.
He's all puffed up because of the cold and all the
That's
snow.
right. Exactly. He was taking reprieve from the storm.
That's a beautiful shot.
I have to inquire. Partridge, ptarmigan.
Yeah.
Are they interchangeable or are they completely separate?
Different.
I don't know, but
Someone will no doubt let us know.
Yeah, I will Google that.
Someone let us know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Have a good night.
Thanks for being with us, everyone. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Good night.